So I used that for 1 more year to cross, and then I jumped ship and moved to Arizona. So I got my undergrad and graduate. Yeah. So one of the things growing up in the Dells, the tourism of the Dells was all cultural based, and it was all about the environment, the beauty that H.H. Bennett captured in his photographic Native peoples. So Native art, that was an economic engine back in the day, and I grew up in the 60s, and my mother and father owned and operated a Lake museum. So after I graduated in '85, I worked at the Bird Museum in Phoenix, which is one of the top Native artists, or Native art museums in the country. And coming back to the summers, as I did with my kids, so I could stay connected to Grandma and the tribe, I noticed after we started, the Dells took on the water park capital of the world, the Native peoples became more and more invisible. And so after 35 years of teaching, my last 10 were a principal at a college prep school. I taught John McCain's kids and Charles Barkley's daughter, and those type of people. After doing that, I said, now I want to really do what I was meant to do, and that's where I launched LEAD. So we're an incubator for new and emerging Native artists. We're very much about the economic opportunities to our artists through the arts. So we do business training. We also have to have space for our artists to work, so that's why we were able to obtain the old firehouse. So you got the full lowdown, I'm sure, on Badger Ordinance.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, so right now we have over 50 artists on our roster. So there's always a variety of artists that are working on this site. So right now he's got 2 commissions coming up. We also have one of our artists who just graduated from high school. So Damien got a public art installation commission from Wingler School in Madison. Okay. So this is his project that he's working on. We met Kristen. She and I, along with 3 other members of the LEAD group, are a part of the Weaving Together Our Culture initiative. And so we're funding every year from the Wisconsin Arts Board to do that. So all the fibers that you see in here are all part of the project. So, as our state representative, you're aware of the emerald ash board and what it's doing to our ash. So the black ash basket of the Ho-Chunk have been something that's been, again, another economic engine for our people. And unfortunately, that darn boar bug has been found in all counties now in Wisconsin. So one of the things some of our leadership of LEAF have recognized is, okay, since we can't use that as a creative fiber, what are the creative fibers that have been used by Ho-Chunks over the years? And some of the oldest are bulrush, these are bulrush bags, and cattail. Oh. So those 2 structures that you see outside, traditionally, they would have been covered with cattail mats, and then bulrush mats. And now, of course, because we're adaptive people, and darn it, we're still here, we haven't been wiped off the face of the earth, we've adapted and we use glue and all that kind of stuff. So that structure to the left in Ho-Chunk is called a chiporoke. That's a traditional structure for like a single family. So chi in Ho-Chunk means wood, poto means round, K is short for kere, which is a term for upright. Okay. So chiporoke is that one. And then that one to the right is called a hazaj. And it's kind of like a ramada or a gazebo or a pop-up. Okay. Kind of. Sure. So those are constructed by LEAF roster artist Lightning New Rider.
I was gonna say, I think I got to meet Lightning last time I was here.
Cool. Yeah, he was just here. So we're just kind of sharing information about, the work that we're doing, and so we'll be hosting. We've got almost 60 people signed up for our workshops, and they're all tribal members. So our first focus is training tribal members first, and then once we get the knowledge out to our own people, then we'll have some open to them.
Is it more high schoolers, or is it the whole?
No, it's multi-generational.
Cool.
Yeah. If you ever go to a Native home, it'll be a grandchild digging around in the beads while mom is making stuff. Yeah. And grandma's giving advice. Yeah. It's all woven into one. Yeah, that's the way we learn. My work, I specialize in porcupine quill embroidery. I've been told by some of the major museums that I've worked with, and I have my work in their collection, I'm the only native artist that works in porcupine quills for portraiture. Mhm. So this is my Hero Shiro series. So this is my uncle, late Mike Winishek. Whenever you hear that name Winishek, like Leah's last name, that's our bloodline chief name. So Mike was the bloodline chief of our tribe until he passed away. He was really young, in his early 50s. He died way too young. But his parents and my mom were a part of the original 12 tribal council members that was able to get federal recognition for us in 1962. So Mike was one of the youngest, or oldest. I was one of the youngest. So when the parents were in meetings, we were in bedrooms in the backyard, and he was always trying to find something to keep us entertained so we wouldn't bother our parents. And he was a wonderful quill artist. And so he introduced me to his passion, which is quill work. And it just grew on me. And so when I got done with my 30 plus years teaching, I just dove that out.
Do you have an example of what the quill is? Like how you do? Do you have an example of the material?
I didn't bring any
Okay, just
porcupine
curious.
quills.
Yeah, just-
You know what a porcupine is,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So it's just straight up.
Well, it's like a needle.
Yeah.
They aren't hollow. They have kind of a styrofoam consistency. Mhm. But it's keratin. So when you look at native art, it's not just, we're not going to Joanne Fabrics or Michael's. We're going to the woods to find our materials. So the average North American porcupine has about 30,000 quills on its body. If you were a porcupine and I was a predator and I wanted to take you home to dinner for my family, not as an invitee, but as dinner. So mammal to mammal, where do you think I'd strike you for an immediate kill?
Generally, it's almost like the neck.
And that's where the thickest, longest quills are located. Yeah. So depending upon where the body, their texture, their gauge.
Okay.
So I like to use ones along the side of the body because they're thinner and they're longer.
Sure.
And it's keratin. It's the same material as our fingernails and toenails. So as long as you soak it, it's very pliable. If I wanted to just make like strung earrings with beads, like a tubular bead, then I'd leave them dry and just cut the tips off.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually sewing these onto the leather, not through the leather, but they're being tacked down by cotton thread,
Okay.
needle and thread. So this one is Frida Kahlo, and that's my Uncle Mike. And if you ever could have met him, he was well over 6 feet. He was a big guy, had these like Johnson Bill Brat fingers, but he could make the most delicate, beautiful work. And all his regalia when he dressed was always quill work.
Wow.
Yeah. And then last Friday, we hosted the Wisconsin Ideal Seminar, so it's all the new professors coming into UW-Madison. They asked if they could do something here and see what we're doing, and so we made a whole bunch of cattail mats.
Nice. Okay.
So with cattail and bulrush, have you ever read any of the work of Dr. Robin Kimmerer? She's a wonderful person.
Okay.
Wonderful educator, very much into conservation and environment. She kind of gives, especially when she's talking to kids, if I was introducing you or referring to you in a group of people, how would you feel if I called you it rather than Glenn?
Not good.
But that's what we're calling all those things that live out there. So when we're working with these materials, especially cattail and the bulrush, they're our relatives.
Okay.
They also are allies to me because I'm a water protector and they're our water protectors
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
And we need to maintain those wetlands, so I'm advocating now. We need to maintain those wetlands, not just to sustain the plants that call it home, but knowing that we as humans consume the most water than any other species on this planet. And if we don't protect the plants that protect our water, then we're in worse condition than we thought we were with climate change.
And I swear, like the last 10 years of climate change, it's happening fast. Are you noticing specific stuff on the property? And
No snow this winter.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to our groundwater? We're trying to plant trees and plants as quickly as we can, but on the other part of Mother Earth, with all those people I taught in Chengdu, China, I had to wear a mask, not because of COVID, that was 10 years before COVID, but just to breathe and not have coal and tar in my nose and in the back of my throat. So it's a hard balance when on one part of Mother Earth we're trying to do the right things, and on the other side of Earth they're just doing things to get by, and you know.
I was talking to Dad, because I grew up in a dairy farm outside of Green Bay, and like in high school, I can remember doing field work early April, mid-April, and this year that was a bit more normal. The previous 2 springs was almost cold, like they weren't getting out in the field till like May, and Dad's like, and he's 85, and he's like, I don't remember, like something's happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then as a kid, because he grew up in farm too, was like, he's like, we would be in the field like even end of March. And so how the seasons shift, now the frost is also moving the other direction. It just,
Did we even have a hard frost this year?
Yep.
See?
yeah. And like, I can remember hard frost happening shortly after Labor Day. And then it was go time to get in the fields. But that's now shifting. So it's just
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
How do you change that?
Yeah. Our priority here, and mind you, I don't work for the Ho-Chunk Nation, and I've never worked for them, and LEAF does not receive a penny from them in terms of the work that we do. But we are here as allies with the tribe. We lease this building from them.
Okay.
But we're there to protect the prairie as much as the tribe is committed to the conservation of the prairie. And to me, just frankly, I'm 63, it's my happy place. Yeah, I can't get the same inspiration and sense of quiet and sense of camaraderie in terms of my kinship with the natural world anyplace else than here.
No, so the DC cruise in Madison this week for our annual retreat, and so it's always nice to get back to Madison. And we took a bus yesterday driving through Spring Green and Eagle Airs and so on, and it was just on the bus watching, because I did a lot of road biking when I was here in Madison.
Oh, bring your bike out here.
But DC, I can't do that. And here I'm looking out the window just like,